In my last video, I said I'll be selling good from this zone, which we got from the daily time frame. So let's break down this particular chart and the reason why I'm still waiting for this sell at this zone if I'm to sell good. So we'll have to take this out. Going up to the daily time frame, that was the zone I was waiting for. If you've been following me, you will notice that I had the sell at this zone on gold, which was this particular place, this key zone. This was the zone I was waiting for that sell. The key zone. I had this key zone on gold. I also posted the key zone on BTC and on EU. But BTC failed to get to that zone. That was the reason I didn't trade for this week. For those people asking me that have not posted any trade on the group chat on Telegram, I actually posted my expected zone on BTC and on gold. So if this is the first time of you seeing this video, use the link on my bio to join my Telegram channel. I post free setup on that channel. So back to what I was saying. On daily time frame, what do we have here? We had this key zone. Then we had this as our inducement. This is my inducement. If you notice, gold sold from this particular zone. That was last 2 months. But that's not the zone we are looking at for. So since we're taking this trade from the daily time frame, as always, my entry should be either the 1 hour, 45 minutes, or 30 minutes. So moving down to the 1 hour, what do we have here? On the 1 hour time frame, we had this push to the upside. Market gave us this higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. I actually saw some people trying to sell the market from this zone, which for me, there was no sweep at this particular zone. That was why I didn't take it. And if you notice, the market mitigated the zone to continue the push to the upside. So that aside, what do we have? We had the market giving us this higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then the news, it was the news that gave us this low before this liquidity sweep to the upside. We had this sweep at this zone. Then this zone as our protected high. This zone as our protected high for this particular trade. So marking out this place as our MSS, our market structure shift. This is where I marked out my market structure shift. Let me label it as my MSS or change of character, depending on what you want to call it. Let's zoom in. Let me just take this out. I like to mark my zone properly. Okay, we had here as our MSS. If you notice, the next candle mitigated the breaker block, which is this particular zone. So automatically, using the breaker block, which is this particular zone, for me was not ideal for this particular trade, which the market reacted off that zone. The market reacted off that zone. It was a missed trade. It was a missed trade for me. My stop loss would have been slightly above the zone. And give or take, my target was this zone. This was my take profit for that particular trade around this zone. Reason being that if you should go to the daily time frame, we have this as our liquidity, our inducement. So my initial target was to target above this liquidity. Reason being that I have this double break of structure, this double break of structure as well, and I wanted to just take profit at this zone. Then I'll allow the market to do whatever it chooses to do. That was why I marked that zone as my take profit. So if you should go to 4 hours, you can clearly see that that's an inducement as well. That's an inducement, that's a pullback. This zone, or we'll be using the daily because sorry about that. Because if I should have two key zones, I prefer to use the higher time frame. So back to 1 hour. On 1 hour, what do we have? My take profit should have been here around this zone. Yeah. So if you notice, currently the market is trying to go back up to react off this zone. I might be wrong, but overall, this is where I'm still expecting the market to get to for me to start selling. If this market fails to get to this zone, I guess I will not be taking this trade. I'll wait for a higher time frame confirmation. Probably I'll just look for another entry to continue the trade if gold decides to continue selling. This is my own sell for this particular trade. Reason being that that's the only other block I could see at this zone. I'm taking it as my MSS. So I will not be using the break. I'm not confident using the breaker block. I have my own reasons. But you can still take this particular trade as well. Market can still choose to use this zone to sell to the downside. Then the market should respect this and give me something like this. All I need to do now to wait for the market to actually get my take profit, then I'll go to 4 hours to look for continuation using the key zones on the 4 hours. You get, I'll have to wait for the market to either break, use it as a double break of structure, this zone, but that will be next week. These two zones. So if I told the market get to that zone, break it, give me an inducement, is either I use this zone to continue the sell or probably wait for this zone to continue the sell. Either way, protecting my capital is also part of my strategy. So I have to respect my strategy and I'll have to respect my capital. So for now, even going down to 30 minutes as well. On 30 minutes, let me take all these out. On 30 minutes, what do we have coming? On 30 minutes, marking it as my MSS, which is my last low. Marking it as my last low. You can clearly see that the market mitigated that zone. And currently the market is using this particular place to sell. This zone to sell. I might have missed this trade, but regardless of anything, the market should fail to come back to the zone. Like I said earlier, I'll look for continuation entry. Currently the market is reacting off the zone. It's reacting off the zone because of this break of structure here. Yeah, and we have here as an inducement. But give or take, I would rather wait than to enter this market, and this market will still decide to come back here to continue this sell. Either way, I will just have to wait. So moving on, we'll go to BTC, which is Bitcoin, BTC USD. So we'll be using Coinbase. I might consider entering this buy. Regardless, let's take that out. That was not the point of making this video. If we should go down to daily time frame, I had a sell as well on BTC, which the market failed to react off that particular zone. On the daily time frame, no, we don't have anything yet. That particular zone was from the 4 hours. Okay, so on the 4 hours, on my last video, I explained after this zone, then we had this market structure shift, inducements before the market started moving up, which currently I'm feeling that that's the zone BTC is trying to use to buy back this zone. BTC is trying to use this zone to buy back, but that aside, I had a sell at this particular zone. This is a review of my trade for the week. So this particular zone, this was the zone I marked out, which I was waiting for BTC to tap in. Overall, I knew BTC was going to sell. That was my plan, to sell BTC for this week. But my initial plan was for BTC to get to the zone before selling to the downside. I guess August is probably giving us a bad trend. So market failed to come to that zone. Either one come. Oh, you guys still understand what I'm saying? So I marked here as my inducement. So I was expecting the market to push up to this zone before they sell to the downside. On my last video, I stated that for this week I'll be selling gold, I'll be selling BTC and EU, which BTC actually sold but failed to come to that zone. That was why I didn't even bother entering this trade at all. Instead, BTC reacted off the zone. The reason I didn't take this trade was it was against my trading strategy. So if I should take it as my break of structure, there was no clear inducement for me to actually use that zone as a key zone, this particular zone. I can't call that a key zone for the strategy I trade. So that was why I didn't even bother taking any trade. But right now on BTC, I can clearly see that the market is trying to react from this particular zone. If we should go to 2 hours, on 2 hours, this particular trade is actually clear. We had this market structure shift. Then we currently have here as our inducement. So all we need to do now is, since this is a key zone on 2 hours, our entry time frame should be either 15 or 5 minutes. So going down, let me take this up. Was it mitigated? Let's zoom in. Okay, it was not mitigated. The zone is still valid to use. We'll mark it as our inducement. So going down to 2 hours, going down to 15 minutes, since it's on 2 hours. On 15 minutes, what do we have here? We can clearly see that we have this place as our market structure shift. Then I'll mark it as my inducement. And I'll take this particular trade from this zone. Automatically, I'll take this as my order block. The breaker block was mitigated, so I'll be using my last candle. Let's go down to on 5 minutes. On 5, okay. I guess I'll be using 5 minutes for this particular trade because I want to use the order block since the breaker block has been mitigated. We'll go down to the 5 minutes actually clear of the zone. So right now my entry should be at this zone. If I'm to buy BTC, stop loss should be here, target should be around here, 1:4. I don't actually take 1:4 trade, but I guess I'll just have to sweep this liquidity. We'll have this trend line liquidity here, and hopefully BTC might decide to break it. But another thing we'll need to look out for is this Friday, and I expect BTC to start ranging. So overall, take profit should be here. Entry should take profit should be here, 1:7. Still a good trade. You can clearly see that this 15 minutes, these are inducements, also respected the 5 minute as well. You can clearly see it. So automatically, this is the trade I'm actually anticipating to enter. This is a 1:7, which is $100 to get $730 for this particular trade. So leaving this particular one, then the next trade is EU. That's our EURUSD. On EURUSD, I also could not see any trade at that zone. If you've been following me, my last video, you as well note that I had this sell. Yeah, I wanted to use the body. No, okay, it was this particular zone, the full body. But I had to zoom in and I decided to wait for the market to get to the body to actually sell. Then I went down to 4 hours. On 4 hours, I could clearly see something happening at the zone. We had this zone. Yeah. Let me mark this out. Take this out. On 4 hours, this zone, which the market is currently reacting off, and we also had this zone. There is a lot of noise on the 4 hours time frame. That was why I had to stick to the daily, this particular zone as well. Then I'll take here as my inducement, which is the valid pullback. On 4 hours, I had these two zones, but when market got to this particular zone, there was a lot of noise at that zone. When market came to this zone, going down to 30 minutes, you can clearly see that there was no clear reversal pattern at that zone. That was why I didn't take that trade. Automatically, I was like, there's no point. You can clearly see the market started selling without any proper direction. There was no liquidity sweep. I expected the market to give me something like this. This push to the upside actually changed my narrative on this trade. I was expecting something like this, then sweep this liquidity before the reversal, then either use the breakout block or the other block to start selling. That was the initial plan, which currently we don't have that here, which I had to cancel that particular zone on 4 hours. Automatically, this zone is no longer valid for me. This other zone as well, I was looking at this zone too. Let's see what happened. Let's take the daily out first off. Then on that particular zone, 30 minutes, in this 4 hours, in 30 minutes, it's also not clear. I don't really like the pattern I'm getting here. Too many weak. You can clearly see it. Let's go down to 15 minutes. So I don't actually like this particular pattern. Regardless of anything that is going to happen, I guess I'll just wait for the daily. I'll just wait for the daily time frame. Too many noise at that zone. I'll just mark it from the body. Yeah. If at all anything wants to happen, you can clearly see when the market sold initially, it actually respected the daily at this zone. We had this zone as our breakout structure. Because I tend to check what the market is actually doing before following that trend sold from this zone. So me currently now, just wait for the market to get to that zone. If I should get a clear reversal pattern on either 1 hour or 30 minutes, then I'll start selling. If I'm selling, my plan is to take out this particular zone, yeah. Overall sweep liquidity will be this. But for now, I'll just go down to 4 hours. On 4 hours, I guess my first take profit should be here. This liquidity is sitting below here that week, depending on how the market chooses to react. So for now, I don't actually have any setup on EU. Because the two zones I wanted to use, EU tend to disrespect those zones. Then EU has been actually respecting daily time frame, so I guess I'll just stick to the daily time frame. You can clearly see it. I actually saw this trade, but I didn't take it because it tweaked out that zone. That was why I didn't take it. But we'll just wait to see what will happen on EU. Let's just wait. Probably the market. I'm also seeing market structure shift. Tiny market structure shifts here as well. Let's just wait and see what will happen next week. For for now, I'll just wait for the market on the daily time frame to actually come back to this zone. Then lower time frame, if I should get a reversal pattern, then my continuation entry is not reversal pattern, I'll continue. I tend to look for my strategy for continuation entry to this particular zone. This zone is another zone to watch out for as well. Market might choose to react from this zone. Sorry. So for now, I'll just wait to see what will happen. Then for US oil, US oil. In US oil, I'm currently seeing something on US oil. This zone, I then go down to 1 hour. On 1 hour. On 1 hour, we had this break of structure. Market sold from this other block. Sorry, MSS. That zone, market structure shifts. Yeah, that particular zone I marked out as break of structure is a market structure shift. Target overall was here. I also saw this zone as well. Here's our inducement entry from this zone. So for now, we'll just wait to see TP or SL. Was that the take profit? No. This was the take profit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This was the take profit. So for now, we'll just wait to see what will happen. Going down to 45 minutes should be clear on that time frame. Okay, yeah, there's it. 1:6 and this was 1:8. Yeah, correct. So for now, we'll just wait and see. We can as well mark as the inducement. Probably the market wanted to come back to the zone to mitigate it, I guess. Also SL. But for now, we'll just wait to see what will happen. Overall, the market will be closing in less than 3 or 4 hours. So right now, we'll just wait to see what will happen next week. For this week, I didn't actually trade. I wasn't able to trade because the whole setup I was seeing, everything was just upside down. So I had to just wait till next week. As always, I always tell my students to protect their capital. Protecting your capital is also a strategy, which you must do. Because at even I wanted to enter, I would have jumped into this particular trade, XAUUSD. When the market came here, I had a lot of people trying to sell from this zone, which I told them not to. Yeah, they marked here. Then they marked here as the inducement. They wanted to sell from this zone, which went bad because the MSS was not clear on the higher time frame. You can clearly see it. So if this is the first time of you seeing my video and you want to join my Telegram group, use the link on my bio to join my Telegram group. In case you are clicking the link and it's not working, copy the link, paste it on your browser, then use it to join my Telegram channel. You can as well join the Telegram group